Hi there. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie. And I have a reading for you. This is going to be a mid-month check-in for the sign of Cancer. So if you have Cancer anywhere in your chart, if you vibe with Cancers, you're a cross watcher, whatever the case may be, this reading may I went to go say may and might, and it came out weird. This reading may be for you. Okay, as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you're looking to book a personal reading with me, you could do that through email or form submission on my website. Um, this is going to be for July. Like I said, it's a mid-month July check-in, Cancer. I'm not doing like a specific spread like a Celtic Cross or anything. We're just taking 6 cards, going by groups of 2, seeing what's going on, where your guides want me to take the reading, and going from there. In the last reading that I did, my lights were going a little crazy. My camera couldn't adjust to it, so I have the light back on back behind me. You'll notice that's a little bit different. That's why I'm still trying to figure it out. Still trying to play with the lighting. Technology is a lot, but okay. Let's dive in. Let's talk about it. Cancer. Bottom of the deck is your challenge. We've got Temperance, we've got the 9 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. Cancer, what's going on? You guys are all up in your head. Your challenge here is almost like doing anything but overthinking is the way that I'm going to put that for you. Okay, it feels like mid-month July, you're being called to like exit your own brain. Okay, it feels like a lot of you are just kind of sitting around engulfed in like some sort of negativity. When we're talking about the 9 of Swords, that's anxiety. The 8 of Swords is a prison of the mind, and 7 of Swords is lying, cheating, stealing. Some of you may be dealing with like some deceit around you right now, so that's why you're kind of like all up in your head about it. But like, it feels like for those of you that are dealing with kind of shady characters here, the way my guides are giving this to me is that this is going to be something that comes out in time, okay? With Temperance, this is not going to be something that shows up and resolves itself immediately. This is going to be something that takes time, has to get flushed out, and then eventually does go away. But it feels like for some of you, similar to what I said in the Scorpio reading, you're looking, or was it Scorpio or Pisces? No, I think it was Pisces. You're looking to rush it. It feels like you want it done and over with. And I feel like the way your guides are giving this to me, oh my goodness, Cancer, please do not hit me for this one. You haven't learned the lesson yet? I don't know what the lesson is, babe. I will hopefully know what the lesson is for you by the end of this reading, but just based off your challenge, the lesson might be patience. Okay? Let's dive in and see what's going on. You start with the 6 of Cups and the Fool. So it does almost feel like for some of you that the lesson here isn't patience. The lesson is doing something different. You know, I feel like some of you, it's like, have you ever had someone tell you the definition of psychopathy? They're like, oh, it's doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's what my guides are giving to me. It's a little cliche when someone says it to us, right? We're a little bit like, okay, are you fucking kidding me? But it feels like for some of you, that sort of is the challenge for you, or like part of the lesson is that you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. You know, it's like the example I'll give you, which I always give to my clients, is let's say your kitchen is dirty and you clean your bedroom. You're still going to be stressed because the kitchen is dirty. You avoided the problem and it comes back to haunt you. You know, it's like it's kind of like an avoidant thing that you have going on right now, Cancer. It feels like this is part of the lesson for some of you. Obviously, the lesson is not going to be the same for all of you. We may share an astrology sign with someone, but we don't share problems with that. Sometimes we share problems with them, but like not everyone's the same, so it's going to be different for all of you. But for some of you, it's like you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome, and you're not going to get a different outcome here, babe. It's just, you're going to keep cleaning your bedroom instead of the kitchen, and you're still going to have a messy kitchen, you know? Queen of Crystals, Judgment, and Knight of Diamonds. Judgment's in reverse, though. Okay. Interesting. Interesting what's going on here. So, Cancer, it feels like what's further compounding this problem for you, this is a little bit of a call out, is your inability to make a choice. It feels like there's some indecisiveness coming in for you. Some of you may have Libra in your chart. That's coming through really loud. With the thunder, that's your confirmation. But it feels like a lot of you are just kind of looking at, the example my guides want me to give you is like, you know, when you take a multiple choice test in school and you're like, okay, I can eliminate A, so it's between B, C, D, and you just keep staring at it. At some point or another, you have to say to yourself, I don't know the answer. I'm going to take an educated guess. Okay? That's when everyone was like, just circle C. You know, it feels like a lot of you need to start not like calling yourself out, but recognizing when you're in that pattern of freeze. When you're looking at B, C, and D, nothing has changed. You have no idea what the answer is. And you're just like, well, I just have to try something. It feels like with that Knight of Pentacles and that Queen of Wands, some movement is better than nothing. And I feel like that's the mindset you need to adapt for yourself in mid-month in July. Is like, okay, it's better to just do something than nothing. Let's say you're trying to be more active. You're like, well, if I just get up and walk, I don't have to run a mile. I can walk a mile, and walking is better than not moving. You know, it's like, that's where I feel like a lot of you, the opportunity for growth is this month, is that mindset of like, well, something is better than nothing. You know, just giving it my best shot is still going to be better for me than not giving it a single shot at all. Yeah, Ace of Swords with the Knight of Crystals. Like I said, Ace of Swords is clarity that hurts, and the Knight of Crystals is throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. It feels like... How do I say this? Some of you are battling perfectionism, is the polite way I'll say that. The way that your guides were saying it to me is some of y'all are just like, you're not moving. You're not doing anything. I'm not going to say it that way. But I feel like for some of you, you need to acknowledge that perfectionism is a logical fallacy. We can't do anything perfect ever. Okay? Like, there's literally no such thing as perfection, especially in terms of like this, executing a plan. The way my guides want me to say this to you is also kind of rough. You cannot expect for nothing to go wrong. I know that's rough, okay? But like, let's use an example. I worked a tattoo convention once, and I expected it to go, everything was according to plan, everything was planned out to a T. What happened midway through, I lost my help. I had help, then I lost it. There's nothing I can do. That's just how the cookie crumbled. It's just the way that event went for me. I did not have a breakdown. I did not, I was like, okay, like, I'm sad to see you go, but like, if that's what this is, that's what this is. You guys need to accept that things will go wrong. Not every plan that we put out into the world, that we make for ourselves, goes 100% right 100% of the time. Okay, there should be some sort of backup for you. There should be some sort of cushion here for you to fall back on. Okay, but also your perfectionism is keeping you stuck because you guys aren't even making a plan because you're already assuming the plan's going to fail because it's not perfect. This is kind of you chasing your own tail, is what I am being told to tell you. It feels like in the mid-month, you're being called to just kind of have a plan where for when the first plan doesn't work, and keep going, keep it moving. If you guys, let's say you're a tattoo artist, you're doing a tattoo convention, okay? If you get there and they're like, hey, the ceiling collapsed on your booth, I have to put you in a different booth, are you really going to be that upset over it? No, it's unavoidable. The fucking ceiling collapsed. Okay, great. Put me in a different booth and I'll make it work. You know, that's how this feels. But with the Five of Pentacles here, some of you guys are, oh, this is a little bit harsh. You're way too easy to give up. You are very fast to throw the towel in, and I feel like your guides want you to work on this. Okay, a mid-month in July, a big place, Cancer, for you to grow is in your determination, is in your perseverance. It is in your, I'm not going to back down. Even if it doesn't work for me the first time, I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep going. Okay. But also remembering that if it doesn't work for you the first time, trying one way, you have to try a different way. Okay. It's not going to magically work the second time the same way. Do you know what I mean here? It just feels like you guys need to be a little bit more flexible this month. You got the Ten of Pentacles and the Princess of Pentacles. I feel like this is your job we're talking about today, Cancer. You know, I feel like with the Ten of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles here, some of you, it's like you're very literal. You keep thinking if you plug everything into the equation, it's going to spit out what you want it to spit out at you. And I feel like your guides are trying to show you that not everything fits into an equation. This is like, remember in the 8th grade when we were in math and they put letters and all of a sudden we were all like, what the fuck is going on? It's not always going to be clean and neat and orderly with this Ten of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles here. Sometimes you will have to try things outside of your comfort zone. You will have to try things that you don't expect to work, but it's worth just giving it a go, you know, and know that your success, you will be successful here, Cancer. There is no doubt in my mind, but it's not going to come from traditional means is what I want to say. You know, it's not going to come from working that 9 to 5. It's not going to come from plugging everything into y equals mx plus b and hoping it spits out the answer. Yeah, you've got the Magician and the 8 of Diamonds. For a lot of you, this is career. This is work. Some of you want to be entrepreneurs as well. You know, you want to work for yourself. Yeah, you've got the Magician, the 8 of Diamonds, and Death. I feel like something for you guys to also work on here is that, like, how do I say that? Sorry, I'm really trying to put this energy into words. To get, you have to give. And so it's like for some of you, again, going off of this, you take things very literally. There's going to have to be a little bit of wiggle room in this for you. Because the way my guides are giving this to me is like when I'll give you a real world example. I used to be a hairdresser and I had a salon suite. When I opened up my salon suite, I was not as booked as I had hoped to be. And so one of the things that I had to give, that I had to wrestle with was that there were going to be some weeks where I may not make any money. I may not. I may pay my chair rent and break even. But what's the take? I'm my own boss. I'm not sitting in a salon for 8 hours a day that's empty because someone else is telling me to. And I can use whatever products, whatever time, I can do whatever I want within the renting agreement. You know, it's like, I feel like for some of you, you have to reconcile here with the Magician, the 8 of Pentacles, that if you want, for what it is that you're going for what it is that you want, that entrepreneurial, whatever this is for you, there's going to be something that you have to give in return. There's a compromise that needs to happen here. Whether that is you open up your own place and reconcile that maybe you're making less money. Is it worth it for the freedom? You know, Cancer, that's where this is really feeling for me. That's where this is really going. Yeah, 7 of Cups and the 4 of Crystals. For a lot of you, it's like, okay, well, where's my commitment going to go? What am I looking to commit to? What can I stomach? What am I looking for? You know, it really does feel like for a lot of you, this is work. Very heavily, this is work. And it's like, do you want to work for someone else? Are you committed to their goals, or do you just want to work for you? You know, are you willing to take less money to work for yourself? Like, there's all these different questions here that you'll have to answer for yourself. Like, oh, this building that I really like, but it doesn't have central air. or maybe it has baseboard heating, or maybe I'm on the 4th floor with no elevator. There's all these different questions and things that you have to reconcile within yourself when walking this kind of path, and I feel like Cancer, this goes for everything. This is not just plainly career too. This is for buying a house or renting or moving or anything where you have to be flexible and compromise. You need to learn that it's not going to go according to plan. Okay? I can't stress that enough for you. Yeah, Ace of Crystals. But does the passion make up for it? Like had not, after I opened my salon suite, maybe I was not super booked and busy, but was I passionate about the people that I was booked for? Yes. Is that what made me happy? Yes. It's like I had to weigh it up. Would I rather be in a salon doing 5 root touch-ups that are not exciting for me, this is not what I'm here to do, versus the one client that's a rainbow? Do you know what I mean? You guys have to start picking and being able to reconcile what it is that you want here and what that might move you away from to get the thing that you want, okay? Because your last 2 cards here are the 8 of Cups and the Hermit. So for a lot of you, I really feel like I am talking to a lot of you that are branching out and starting a business. Either starting a business or working for yourself or doing something that does not involve other people. And I feel like a lot of you are learning to make concessions. I almost want to say, I think that's the word, concessions, like when you're willing to concede something, give it up. Yeah, 4 of Cups. I feel like for a lot of you, you've also 3 of Swords and the Hanged Man. You've dealt with so much heartbreak here in whatever area of your life this is, and so much frustration, maybe even some deceit, like we said in your challenge in the beginning, that you're kind of like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Okay, there are some people, there are some bosses, there are some people out in the world that will go out of their way to fuck you over. Okay? And it feels like Cancer, you are seeing that and being like, okay, I'm over it. I'm done with it. Like there have been, another real world example I'll give you is like, I've been in managerial positions before where like, or like supervisor positions where like I've excelled at the role, and so I never got promoted because they didn't want to lose that good supervisor. Okay, this is like sort of the situation I feel like some of you are in, where you're either really good at what you're doing or you're working somewhere for someone that doesn't want you to move up, so they're kind of jerking you around a little bit, and it feels like now a lot of you have just made this choice of like, you know what, I just don't give a fuck anymore. Excuse me, I know this is YouTube, but I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to do what I need to do here. And I feel like your mid-month it feels very powerful here, Cancer, but you got to start moving. Okay? That's where I feel like the real hang-up is here. It's like everything would be moving much differently right now if you just get a move on. If you just start, abandon the perfectionism, abandon it, and just throw some shit against the wall, see what happens. Okay? 9 of Diamonds, King of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. The way my guy just said this to me, spicy. The future that you want is waiting for you. You're not waiting on anybody else here but you. That's gonna be the title of this video. It really, like, you guys are... You're your own block right now, Cancer. This mid-month, you are your own block. Yeah, 2 of Wands, 9 of Wands. Something that my guides, I was about to say, I promise you, and my guides were like, don't promise. I can't promise you, but I will say, once you start getting going and picking up speed, things will more than likely feel better than they are. Okay, when we are kind of bogged down and stuck and there's no movement, there's nothing changing, there's no forward momentum, we feel worse than we actually are. Okay? That's, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's just the name of the game here, Cancer. So it feels like for some of you, you need to reconcile that, like, yeah, it may be uncomfortable to get moving. Yeah, it may be uncomfortable to get yourself out of where you are, but the alternative is to remain stuck and feel bad. It always feels worse to not move than to move. Okay? All right. Let's get you guys an Oracle card. The deck that I am using is the Angelarium. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I love this deck. I will use it until I'm in the fucking ground. It is a reimagining of the Falling of the Angels. So let's see what they've got for you, Cancer. Can I get advice for Cancer mid-month? Advice for Cancer, please, for the mid-month. Okay, thank you. Interesting. Samyaza, Angel of Pride. I believe this is 19. I could be wrong. I was not. The number is 19 for anyone into numerology. When this card is revealed, consider the ways in which you have control over your own dominion and mastery. You have the power to give labels to the features of your life, and with that comes the power to influence those objects, places, relationships, and other aspects of your world. It may be valuable to consider whether that power is wielded responsibly or with selfish intent. I feel like this card always reminds me that pride can honestly get in our way a lot more than we think. It can really mess with us. Okay, guys? So put the pride aside for whatever reason it's there and push forward, all right? Cancer, I will leave your reading there. That is your mid-month check-in. If this reading resonated with you, or maybe if my reading style resonates with you, do consider leaving a like and subscribing. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. So close. If you guys would like to interact with me on a live basis, I do go live 3 days a week on Twitch where I read tarot, I do collectives, then we do personals. You can catch me there Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. So I will leave that there. I hope to see you guys one day on Twitch, but if not, Cancer, it's okay. I will catch you in the next video. All right? Bye, everyone.